I think we're live, babes. Hi everyone. Welcome to the first episode of It Ain't a Scene. It's a goddamn podcast. I'm your host. We'll call me Jenny. We'll say Jenny. I think
Jenny's good.
Jenny's good. And this is my friend Kim. Say hi, Kim.
Hi. This is episode 1. I guess we're gonna call this one what? Not a phase. I promise.
I mean, we'll see where this episode takes us. Yeah. What is up? Welcome to the podcast. If I haven't said it enough, we are going to talk about how do we frame what we're going to talk about, Kim? I'm thinking we're a hybrid of Hot Topic meets your mom's minivan / after school sessions that you didn't fucking do your homework in.
Sounds
hanging out at shows in the pit, meet me at the merch stand. Yeah, like conversations you would find there.
Yeah, that's I think that's a good summary of what we're gonna be talking about. Maybe some nerd stuff thrown in there, just a little sprinkle as a treat.
Well, a little sprinkle of, all the good nostalgia from the early 2000s into your college years when you tried to listen to the Strokes, but you knew what you were about.
Yeah.
You fucking listened to music like this.
Yeah, the call out.
So you were listening to that shit, and that's how me and Kim actually met.
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Let's just give a little bit about who the fuck we are, because right now you probably know us in real life, because that's how all podcasts start.
True.
You just get your friends to hopefully listen to a link you send them, and they're like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna check this out, buddy. I really hope y'all are checking it out, and my voice is
come listen to me banter, please. Thanks. I'd appreciate it. Please.
But yeah, me and Kim met in the good old Dirty Dutch in Poughkeepsie, where I forget who reached out to who first.
I think. Like when we first started becoming friends. I don't remember. I just remember it being through like a college Facebook group.
It was definitely back in the good old freshman year of college. We were invited to the party of the year, I believe. It was supposed to be. Our college was completely dry.
Yeah.
We weren't supposed to have any sort of alcohol, but these kids were just like, no, we're going to be throwing a Project X style.
At these brand new dorms,
yes,
mind you.
Yes. So I get an invite, and I saw Kim get added to the group. I locked eyes. I knew the trash she was into.
Yeah.
I knew. I saw the band tees. I'm just like
the band tees, the Kingdom Hearts poster in the dorm room.
Kingdom Hearts. It was probably the Kingdom Hearts poster. Can we talk about it?
Sure. I think I have a picture of me somewhere with the poster in the background.
So yeah, I was determined to make him my friend from literally Facebook presence, and here we are. We're like, I don't even know, 7 years later.
Yeah, it's crazy.
7 years later.
Oh wait, is it 7? Let me see. Hold up. Maybe. Oh no, it's more like 9, baby.
I'm so sick.
Yeah.
I'm so
no, we're not that young. Sorry to disappoint.
No, it has to be.
No,
it has to be
2012.
It has to be 8.
Yeah. Oh,
2012.
Right.
Which I guess would be my 10-year. So my 10-year high school reunion is coming up next year, so that's why I was like, it has to be 8 years. But I guess you do have that crossover, so I'm old.
Yeah, we old.
But yeah, Kim, do you have anything to say about, how we met?
Yeah, I guess, I had an extra ticket to the Cartel concert
at
the Loft. And I was like, oh, what if we held hands at the Cartel concert? No. But yeah, I was like, would you possibly want to join me and, just think about the early 2000s with me for a night? Sure. Okay, see you there. I think we took a cab together though, but yeah, you know what I mean.
Because that's wild to think about, because I'm just like, how the hell did we get there? There was legitimate Uber. I guess we had to take a cab. but God, it was just a different world.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, me and Kim became better friends after we went to a cartel show that was in the smallest of venues in Poughkeepsie.
Yeah.
A friend of mine went to, I don't know if they were with us. It's wild because this friend, and maybe she's listening to this podcast and it'd be really dope if she is, but she will verify. She got the drummer's number from Cartel, which I thought was the dopest thing
So
ever.
good.
And now she has a kid, and I was like, your kid like doesn't know how badass mom is yet.
They have no idea.
And like I'm over here acting like Cartel was the biggest fucking rock band, but at that time I'm like, oh my God, I'm a musician. What?
I love it. That was a fun night. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun night. I miss early college days I miss going to shows in general. Kim, how do you feel about welcome to lockdown part 2. If you thought you were doing anything this year, you probably are not.
Yeah, no, nothing for us this year. Probably no. I don't know. Do you think we're gonna see my chem this year?
Oh, we're gonna talk about it. We're talking about.
We don't have to talk about them, but
we can.
I'm just wondering, like, when would concerts be back? You know, like, when are we gonna be able to do that again?
I was so hopeful, and I still remain stupidly hopeful, but realistically, I think I don't know. I think a concert that size, it really depends on how this vaccine's getting rolled out.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to go, but I would have to see how the next few months go.
Right.
I would love to see the boys again, though.
Yeah,
I actually, I dug up, I keep most of my like fancy ticket stubs, and by that I mean things that aren't printed on my computer, like, you know, my parents' laser print computer. Printer.
I have a bunch of those still.
Oh, see, I can't stand keeping tickets
hate them
like
too,
that,
but they're in a folder. They're just chilling.
Oh, that's cute. That's real cute. Like maybe I should get a binder or something. But I keep whenever you rarely get a legitimate ticket, I keep those. So I found my ticket stub to the My Chemical Romance show that was in 2011 or 2010.
Mm-hmm.
It was for Danger Days, and it was at Terminal 5.
Good times.
And the ticket was $36, and I'm disgusted with like what I paid for my chem, but also
I've seen them once, and like, oh, you mean like the one that's upcoming?
Upcoming. Anything you want to say about MCR, because you know
they're okay, I guess.
They're okay, I guess. To the viewers at home, Kim has a full ass sleeve of the My Chemical Romance covers on her arm. Not necessarily covers, but like an image from every album. It is one of the best sleeves I've ever seen on a human being in my life. When we, I don't know, we're gonna plug Instagrams and shit like that at later dates or after this podcast. But like when y'all see Kim's arm, you're gonna be like, shit, man. Definitely into it. So yeah, anything you want to say about this hopeful upcoming show, or you know, favorite memory of the boys, and then we'll just move on into like, you know, who the fuck we are and why we're doing this in the first place.
Right. I mean, yeah, for like MCR is just like, I don't know, one of those bands I found, and I was just kind of like, oh, like this is as good as it gets. No, let me stop. But yeah, like I just really like fell in love with them. I think the first video I saw by them was Helena. I saw them once in Long Island. I think that was 2010 though. And yeah, I don't know. I felt like personally for me, I guess, also seeing like I think the whole emo genre in a sense has done this, but like I think also seeing like, you know, Gerard and you know, Mike can like talk about these things like a lot, especially a lot of like LGBT issues, and like, you know, Gerard like going to school in drag and like, you know, just like challenging like gender norms kind of like really hit home for me, you know, like with coming out and stuff like that, like, you know, just being like, oh, okay, like gender is this weird thing that like I always, you know, kind of like thought about, and I was like, all right, like, you know, it's kind of cool watching other people not strictly follow like gender norms and like, you know, like do these things, wear makeup and all that, like, you know, that men could wear makeup and, you know, I don't know,
Yeah.
it's just a good
I
time. Yeah. So
yeah, no, Gerard was definitely one of the first figures in my life that I'm just like, well, he's doing all this and I don't it's not a joke. It's not like, it's not skewed to be funny. It's just like who he is and he's a fucking badass for it. So,
yeah,
yeah,
that was
I definitely
definitely
feel that.
big.
Um I think it's also maybe important to note because again, for the people who don't know us at home, like Kim, do you want to give pronouns or,
Yeah, like I'm, with labels, it's kind of hard. I feel like a lot of the time, queer people kind of like, not
Mhm.
always. I think there is a comfort in finding a label that works for you, but I think having labels for some of the time kind of like is more for other people to try to like take a grasp of how you're feeling about your gender or your sexuality. But like, I guess I just consider myself like a gender queer person. I do prefer they them pronouns, mostly just because I feel like it works.
Mhm.
I do fluctuate between femininity and masculinity, and I do enjoy like all pronouns, but I guess they would be like a good like safe bet like all the time, you know what I mean? So but yeah, like
Which
just
is
like
yeah.
non-binary genderqueer person, like
Yeah.
that's all. you know that's
This
me.
was more for me, but I did want to just address that I am she, her, and bitch boy.
Oh, Beach
So
Boy. I'm here
that
for
is
that
what
one.
that's what I respond to.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Love that.
I'm very much, you know, I'm sad.
I'm just that's
I'm
why
just
we're
sad.
here.
And that's what, good segue. That's why we're here.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So we have a little agenda because we are new to podcasts, and I don't know how this really works. I hope so far I am holding this together in my very state. I just ate a chopped cheese and on a podcast. Let's go. No, but we want to talk about, or I'm going to question Kim and then we're just going to, obviously roll with it.
Yeah,
Much like we've
definitely.
been doing.
Think you want to talk about our first concerts, right? Or
we want to talk about our first concert. Me and Kim have been like skating around this topic because we wanted to save this moment for the podcast. I think you let me know on Monday, but I still just say it and like because I don't even think I know who that band is, but yeah.
Yeah, no, fair enough. They're not like super super big or anything, and like to be honest, I don't know if they're even making music anymore. But my first show was this band called Dr. Acula. 2008, I believe. 2008. Yeah, it was my first show. It was a very small venue. It was in the Peekskill Elks Lodge. Very, very small.
Oh my
like,
God.
yeah, like it was super tiny, a bunch of like local bands, and some people in those local bands I ended up meeting later on, apparently. And I was like, oh, you were in that band? Oh, you were at that show? Like, it's just like really funny. But yeah, just like a bunch of like hardcore bands like Through the Eyes of the Dead, The Squidward's Ghost. I can't remember some of the others at the moment, but it was just like a bunch of like pretty heavy bands, yeah. But other than that, like my my first like big show was Warped Tour 2010, and 11 o'clock in the morning I'm like running to like the stage like where Every Time I Die is playing, and I'm here like going off to Every Time I Die at 11 in the morning. Like I really miss that.
Yo,
yeah.
Warped Tour was I'm gonna touch on Warped. No, I'm gonna now. This was not my first concert, but I just remember being at Warped Tour and not really fully understanding that I like everyone, like whoever's listening is like, she's an idiot. It's true. I am. No, but I just stood in front of one stage. It was the main stage. And I didn't really realize like, oh,
there's
something's
more
happening over there. There's more. So I just stood in front of one stage for the majority of the day. And I also think it was 2010. I would have to look. No, that was 2009. I was actually the 2009 Warped Tour. That was like my first like, okay, not my first like my parents are letting me go off alone, but I just remember my mom's like, don't take anything, blah blah. Like it's like the conversation of like
just the conversation. Yeah, I remember that.
But no, oh my God, I'm such a liar. I'm such a liar. So my parents didn't leave me alone for Warped Tour 2009.
Oh.
My dad actually he bought himself a ticket to Warped Tour and had a better time than I did.
Oh, I
we
believe it.
stand Larry Estridge. He met CeCe Ramone. He saw some. Oh my god, he met. I was like, you saw this band? Oh my god, I would have to ask him. Oh,
That's
my
really
god.
sweet. I love that.
But yeah, Warped Tour 2009. I didn't know what to do, so I stood in front of the main stage, which I assumed all the big acts would be playing, which isn't true. You know, as the day gets like long, like, you know, goes drop as we're going throughout the day, bigger bands kind of appear, but it's like we had to sit through a lot of shit. But oh my god, I remember seeing Gym Class Heroes. That was probably
iconic.
Gym Class Heroes was fucking amazing.
And if you guys are sick and tired of ignorant motherfuckers trying to ruin your good time, put your index fingers in like,
this is Warped Tour. I feel like we could do a whole episode on Warped Tour.
Oh
but,
yeah, I think there'll be a couple episodes on Warped Tour knowing us.
Oh my god.
There's just so much to talk about the culture and the people who win and, you know, just all of it.
So your first show was bands I have no idea who they are, so I can't even talk to you about.
No, you're good. I want to hear yours though.
All right, you ready for this?
I remember you telling me, and I think I know who it is, but I really don't remember too well. So we'll see if I guess correctly. But let's go.
My first concert was the Hilary Duff concert.
Listen, Hilary Duff songs slapped. I don't care what anybody says. Like, I was a big fan. Like, Metamorphosis was such a good album. That album slaps.
Yo, so yesterday, oh my god. I was about to look it up, but then it came back to me and I hate myself for it. It was the Most Wanted World Tour. I remember my mom and like a bunch of moms, like they all brought their litter of kids. You know, it was like I wasn't really in Girl Scouts, but I was kind of in Girl Scouts. So it was like kids from my Girl Scouts / my neighborhood, our moms. So it's kind of funny. My first concert was actually with my mom, and I've never been to another concert with my mom since that. And I would like that to change. I think so. No, that's a lie. I did go to another concert, but still, usually my dad is my ride or die with concerts. It's kind of funny and weird. But yeah, it was Hilary Duff's Most Wanted, you know, that tour. I actually saw, I'm trying to think who opened. I don't think anyone will remember this person, but they actually came out as quite recently. And I was just like, I remember you. Oh my god, like Tiger.
Oh, yes, yes, I forgot what her name is now, but yeah. Oh,
yes.
Shit.
I'm sorry, and I just realized I used the name.
I got you.
Yeah. So maybe I will bleep that. I don't know. But
yeah, no, I wish I remembered what her name was now, but I do remember bopping to some Geiger back in my day. So
yeah. Confidence, I will still like just randomly like get reminded of that song. Again, I will like, y'all don't know, or maybe y'all would know if I played it now. Okay, here's the moment I would play it right now. But that shit.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, like I was 12 years old, maybe 11.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Muster every ounce of confidence I have and cannonball into the water.
Oh, it's
like,
taking home.
For you, I will. Okay, I hate that. But yeah, that was my first concert, and I know that wasn't a tragically emo answer. I can give you my second concert, which was probably a good kickstart to who I would be for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the Boys Like Girls, Good Charlotte, and Metro Station show that was
sounds
at
fun.
it was fantastic. That was at the Poughkeepsie Civic Center. And I went with my my good friends who it's just so funny to think about. Like we were literal. I just remember being like, I did my hair in such a way that it was like spiking up, and I was wearing those big scarves. Like, do you remember the scarf trend where it was just like they looked like bandanas, but they were like infinity
yes. Oh, do I remember?
Like I could dig up this photo. I have like star clips in my hair. I have the arm like fishnet things going on, and they're like neon blue, and I thought I was hot as shit. I was just like, yes, Benji's going to look at me and say, I want that girl to come with me on tour. Just to be cool with. I was even thinking like I know, as I was saying in a weird way. No, I wasn't even thinking that way. I just wanted to
you just feel like the coolest person in the room, and you're just
like, like I gotta know that girl. Like, like
I want to be that person. Like I want to be the one that people look at and like, wow, like to get to know them.
I was like, someone's going to write a song about how dope and unique I am, and it's so stupid. Yeah, so that was my second concert though. Boys Like Girls, Metro Station, and Good Charlotte, which it's kind of sad because I don't know if like Boys Like Girls really kind of fell off, didn't they? I don't remember anything past their first album, or whatever the Hero Heroine was on.
Yeah, that album was a good time. I remember listening to it, but yeah, after that I have no idea what happened to them.
It was the soundtrack of our summer, and that's I'm sorry for that.
You're doing great, Sweaty.
I'm doing amazing. No, what's kind of like, unironically, I bopped to it, but I realized like they are probably not the best of people judged on how other bands have treated them. Metro Station.
Oh.
Like I still like, especially because all right, I'm on TikTok podcast people. I don't know what we're gonna call you guys
TikTok.
Yet. I'm on emo TikTok. I don't know why. So it's kind of funny, on emo TikTok, you see these younger kids dancing to Metro Station. I'm just like, oh my God, it's coming full circle. It's happening. Like they're so good at dancing to Shake It. I'm like, I this is what I wanted to do, but
I would never.
I can't swim. I can't dance. I don't know karate.
Never gonna make it.
Not gonna make it. But yeah, okay. So we got our first shows talked about. Do you want to talk about maybe one of your favorite shows, or do you want to?
Let's see. One of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna mention this band later on in the podcast. Yeah, definitely. They're definitely one of my favorites, but I just wanted to like mention them, I guess, like on one of our topics towards the end of this episode. But oh wait, actually, okay. It's hard, but I really do enjoy seeing Every Time I Die. I've seen them like a couple times, and they're always like really wild and a really good time. And like another one of those bands that are like have really good like stage presence and was always a fun time, but they're not a band anymore. Let Live. So yeah, they just kind of like that. I don't know, just the energy at their shows are just always a really good time. Yeah, I don't know. Those I think seeing those bands were probably like my favorite to watch. Like I can go see them live, Yeah, and I have
a million times
more than once. Yeah, exactly. And I'll keep going to their shows. So,
That's so cool.
Yeah, definitely a favorite.
Definitely. I'm trying to like, I posed this question and I'm like, I don't know.
I was about to say, I was like, what's your fave?
So like, cause truthfully, a handful of my faves probably don't relate back to the podcast.
No, fair enough. A lot of mine might not either, but
Yeah. I mean, like I want to say, like, again, we're going to try to keep this podcast to like, this very wide realm. And let me just talk about this now. We're talking about emo as the meme-ish. Like I know, and I don't want to get into a fight with Washed Up Emo about the bands we are talking. We love you. I love Washed Up Emo so much, and I appreciate your "is this band emo" generator so fucking much, because it's true. But we are really, and I want to just down first episode, we are talking about when the MySpace, we're in a mall emos right
Yeah,
now, and like even
MySpace,
like
Hot Topic,
yeah,
Photo
you know,
Bucket, like shit like that.
yes,
Like,
we're talking about the meme that emo has become. Don't come at us. We love Sunny Day Real
I was about to
Estate.
say, like, I love
Yeah,
Thursday. I love Sunny Day Real Estate. Like, we're
we
here. Like,
our taste progressed, and I like we'll have a whole episode about like when we discovered, because I'm sure you had the same trajectory that I had, Kim, where one day you were like, you got a sense that there was like an air about like what we were listening to and like the more quote unquote sophisticated shit. So you were like, what was the original emo bands or blah blah blah, and that's how I found Sunny Day Real Estate.
like, we gotta look
and I
into
just
our
remember,
culture, like
basically I was like, let me look into my culture, let me understand why I'm like the way I am. So yeah, and then I heard Circles for the first time, and I was like, this is opening up a new thing for me. And again, we'll have a whole episode about that kind of world, but do not come for us. We are talking about the fun times in which we had a top 8 on MySpace.
There we go.
And again, the hilarity that is emo night. Again, if you go to emo nights that are in like Brooklyn or LA or blah blah blah, you probably belong here. If you're looking to talk about how, I don't know, you want to argue that Death Cab for Cutie is or isn't an emo band, you go to Washed Up Emo, and then you come back when you're feeling like trash again. That's all I'm trying to say.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right. No, but oh god, I already forgot what we were talking about. Fuck. Favorite shows. Because like truthfully, one of my favorite shows was a Janelle Monáe show, but again, that's so not even far off. Like that's just fucking rock and roll, and that's great. And but I almost want to say, God, I almost want to say Motion City Soundtrack, but it wasn't.
A good time though.
But it was a good time, and it wasn't though. It wasn't my favorite show. I think it was just because it was the last show I went with you, and it's just like in my head. It was one of the last shows I went to before the end of the world.
Yeah, same. That was my last show before quarantine, and after that, it was a Broadway show to see Beetlejuice. But I digress.
Oh no.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to talk about emo Broadway next now. No, but like so. Again, I'm going on record right now. Motion City Soundtrack was not my favorite show. I'm just having trouble thinking of it. Like, what would be my favorite show? And again, I've gone to so many shows, and it's always
hard to pick one. Yeah, that's why I was kind of really stuck. And I'm like, well, this band is just a good time to see. So that's all.
I think what it was with Motion City Soundtrack, other than like I love that band, it's like a band that I still revisit often. To this day. I'm sorry, I just burped on podcast.
That's for the bloopers.
That was the chopped trees. No, so Motion City Soundtrack was a band that like I loved growing up, but I don't think I ever had the opportunity to see them live. I don't know if I don't think I saw them at like a Bamboozle or anything like that. So this was my first time seeing them, I believe. And it was just like, it's like greeting an old friend, like all these reunion tours are great. I know they are like, all these bands kind of break up with like, oh, we're back together like 2 or 3 years later. So it's kind of like, I see what they're doing. Like,
yeah, Under Oath kind of did that to me, but
yeah. But it was really good to just have that moment of just like, how do I even say this? Like the MCR show is going to be great, but I already know that a lot of kids have fallen into My Chemical Romance that are much younger than me and Kim at this point. I'm 26. Kim just turned 27. Happy birthday, Kim!
Yikes! Thanks.
And we're not old. I feel old, but we're not old. But it's just like, I feel like when we finally see My Chemical Romance, we're going to be in a good like mixture of age groups.
While, definitely.
Yeah, like I'm gonna see young kids. I'm gonna see kids older than us, and whatever. Parents, blah blah blah. We're gonna get that wide range, and but it was kind of nice realizing that we were amongst our own people at Motion City Soundtrack. I'm like, oh,
like this is
we're all
for us.
we're all over the age of 25 and just fucking sad still. And I just remember saying that and people were laughing, and it was just like, I don't know, there was something about that night that, like, I don't know, I was fucking rocking a look. It was great. I got head nogged. Somebody hugged me in the pit. I found a phone. They were like, "You're our hero," blah, blah, blah. And then I had to wait on the coat line for, what, 2 hours?
Oh,
we love Webster Hall. We love it.
Yeah, getting your coat back from, like, I do not miss that part of concerts.
I don't.
But yeah, it'd be like that.
It really do be like that. Damn, like, I'm really drawing a blank on what's my favorite show. You know, it was also a really good show for me, but it was not. I always have a bad habit of seeing bands when they're not their best. Like, they'll just, like, fucking announce, like, hey, I got sick, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
That's happened to me, like, 3 times, actually, where I've seen a band and it's, like, the lead singer or rapper, like, they're just like, hey, I'm actually rapping with the fucking flu right now, which is kind of wild to think about now in this COVID world that I saw. And this is the band that I'm going to talk about for this segment. Say Anything.
Oh,
Say Anything. Yeah. Say Anything had their reunion show, which is just Max Bemis, which whatever. Or, you know, it was like his last run of doing Say Anything songs, like, you know, as Say Anything. I think he's still going to do, like, I think he wants to writing, but I think he still will tour. It just won't, it's just going to be Max Bemis. Who knows? But yeah, Say Anything is probably one of the bands that I got into when I was in middle school, all by accident, because, you know, I was at a friend's house, it was a sleepover, and they had Fuse. And I don't think I knew what Fuse was yet. Like, my parents were very protective over the content I consumed until a certain point in my life. Then they just let me go buck wild. But so I wasn't like, I didn't grow up with MTV right away. Like, my parents were very much like, okay, you can watch music videos in the morning while you're getting ready for school. But, you know, it was just like in the morning we had like everyone was, eyes were always on it. And, I felt like Fuse had a better mix of things, and it definitely skewed more to like the alternative, the emo, it wasn't playing the popular things, or not often.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember at my friend's sleepover, and we had to be like an eighth or it was probably 7th grade. It was probably 7th. Maybe the 6th. Ew. But
Ew.
Wow, I said it because you're gonna because it was the music video for Wow, I Can Sexual too.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
And I just remember being like, oh,
what's that?
And I really did, like, I was just like, okay, and I made it my ring Kim. And Wow, I Can Get Sexual too is probably the worst intro you could have for a Say Anything. So like discography, but I found like it. Say Anything is still like one of my favorite bands. They come up every year on my like Spotify review, and it's kind of disgusting, but yeah. I actually got like, there was the guy I was dating who gave me so much shit for being into Say Anything, and I was like
not happy about you being into Say Anything.
He was just so like, oh, it's just so pompous. Like, that's not the word he used. But he was just like, he thinks he's so deep. I was like,
oh gosh,
you cannot argue with me that Max Bemis cannot write his fucking ass off. Like, he makes songs that like no one else could make work, in my fucking opinion. And I just choose to believe that he is, I don't want to say genius, because I think that word is like, I'm sorry, Max, if you're ever listening. I think you're a genius, but it's just like, that he has a true skill of writing, and it's just, something that in the scene that you can either like, there's a lot of songs that, I Say Anything was my favorite band. You know what else was my fucking favorite band? 3 Days Grace.
Oh, yeah. I was a big fan. It's funny.
Truthfully, all right. Truthfully, I was going to say that one of my favorite shows was my Sweet 16 birthday party, where I took me and my closest friends to see 3 Days Grace, Flyleaf, and Breaking Benjamin.
Why wasn't I your friend in high school? Damn.
Right? Look, shout out to my parents who loved me so much that they paid for that.
That's really sweet. Oh.
Yeah, like I look back, I'm just like, yo, concerts are so fucking expensive, and I'm just like, they did that for a bunch of kids. But it was. Well, I think that in itself was the reason why it's one of my favorite shows, because like I was able to go with so many of my friends.
Right.
It was also like I didn't crowd surf because I actually had not crowd surfed until quite recently into my adulthood, which is kind of funny. But I remember someone found out it was my birthday, so they lifted me above their shoulders so I could get a better view. Yeah, it was just a good time. And then yeah, this is all going back to like saying, yeah, 3 Days Grace was one of my favorite bands. And after revisiting their music, I was just like, holy shit. None of these songs are well written.
Like realizing that later, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, none of these songs have any substance to it. They sound amazing, don't get me wrong. There's something great about like the audio engineering of the songs and how layered they are. Like that's something interesting to look back on. Like they really had like I'm not a music person, but like there's just it just sounded so grand.
Yeah,
and
it was a fun time.
But then it was a fun time. It was a grand time. But then you had lyrics like, "I hate everything about you.
Why don't I love you?
Why?" And it's just, and like I'm not here to diss anthems because there are plenty of you can look. I love rock and roll. That Joan Jett fucking Kisses. I want to rock and roll all night and party every day. Like sometimes you just get Skittles when you like, and you realize like this is just like candy. This is the candy song. But I was treating 3 Days Grace like a meal, and there was no substance to it. I will say Breaking Benjamin still holds up, but we can talk more about that later. And Flyleaf is effectively not canceled now, but like we all know that Cassie was a
or is it Lacey?
Lacey. Why did I say Casey?
Yeah, I was gonna say like Lacey maybe.
Yeah, I think there's a song called Casey, and I always kind of like Lacey is a bit fucked up. But I will say that. Oh my god, do we talk about it now? Do you want to wait for another episode?
You know what? Let's save that one.
Okay.
That would be really like I definitely want to hear about this from your perspective, though.
Yes. TBD.
Yes.
All right. So moving on in the agenda, because I definitely kept us here much longer than I probably should have. So Cam, my question to you.
Oof.
Yeah, ready for this shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember the first time I got money. Money my own money that I didn't have to it was given to me by my parents. I did some chores around the house and they're like, here kid, have $10, maybe 15. I really don't know how much CDs cost. But I got my first allowance, and my parents took me to the mall. And back when FYE was a thing, I stumbled in, and I remember the two albums I would say there's 3 albums that are effectively why I am the way I am today, and I bought it in like my fifth, I was in 5th grade, entering 6th grade. But before I say mine, Kim, what were the 2 or 3 albums that defined who you are? And if you have a story, please give me all the things.
Yeah, I mean, there's it's this. Okay, so the albums that I decided to mention, I guess, are ones that I found very early on, before I knew what a My Chemical Romance was. You know what I mean? This was pretty early on, but these aren't my CDs. So 2 of these CDs were my mom's CDs that she had in the house. So one of those being a Linkin Park album, I believe it being Hybrid Theory, and the other one was the Queen of the Damned soundtrack. So
Wow.
between the, I've never seen the movie at that point, but I just remember hearing the music, like hearing like Disturbed and Deftones and stuff like that. Like I was like, huh. I think Marilyn Manson was on it, like, but we don't talk about Marilyn Manson. But
I mean, we will talk about
yeah,
Manson,
we will definitely talk about that, but
we're going to talk, we're going to do a special episode about all the problematic people that we grew up with and who are now being revealed or have been revealed as monsters, because we have thoughts and we would like to share them. But that's incredible.
Yeah, those were like definitely like, I don't know, just finding those albums in my, I think my mom just had them, and that's how it started. And then I remember like, I don't know, just like I'm very like, I have a lot of interests. One of those things being like anime and things like that. So I guess I think I did mention this to you when we were chatting last, but the Digimon movie soundtrack had like a lot of like punk and ska and like Less Than Jake on there, and it was just like a really fun time. And I just remember hearing that too as a kid and really enjoying the music on this movie. So I think those are like the ones I found like really early on.
That's so funny because you're not the first person to tell me about the Digimon soundtrack. I did not grow up with Digimon.
Yeah, big Digimon fan, big Pokemon fan, the constant battle.
Pokemon, I will say I had the first, Pokemon movie first soundtrack, and I played that to death.
Mm-hmm.
But that is so funny that I guess I had to listen to the Digimon soundtrack. You're not the first person to say, hey, that soundtrack absolutely slaps.
It did.
I miss ska too.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put it out there. It's kind of funny because like I don't know, everything's coming back, but ska.
You gotta bring back ska now. We gotta start ska.
It's not gonna be me. I'll tell you that. I would entertain seeing a ska band though. I don't know who would win my heart and who I'd go see. Do we consider No Doubt a ska band?
I don't know. Depends who you're talking to, I guess. I've heard mixed things, but
yeah. I feel like someone out there who's listening to this is gonna be like, "Fucking, I'm going to find her and punch her for that." But to be fair, they kind of were ska, like, and it's always that fucking like gatekeeping. I don't know. Just because Gwen became popular doesn't mean like
right.
No Doubt was like a legitimate band and she's a legitimate artist, and she might have. It was ska.
Yeah.
It was.
No, definitely. And I feel like a part of her like being female, like I think plays a part in like a lot of like what people say about that too.
Always.
Like 100%.
Always. But that's funny. Did you say Hybrid Theory too? I'm just trying to like
those were like the albums my mom had, and then from there I guess just getting burned CDs from anyone I could definitely helped. But those were my my main, I guess, albums as a youngster. So.
Yeah, no, Linkin Park was definitely the bridge between the worlds for me, but it wasn't. I'm not trying to think. I know what the albums are going to name drop here. That was before I could own CDs, that I knew like Linkin Park was a bridge. I have two older brothers, one who is very much into the heavy metal scene, still is. He's very much into Kill Switch Engage is like his favorite band, stuff like that. Yeah. And then my oldest brother is very much like, he's the reason why I know Jay-Z. He's the reason why I know old school hip hop feels weird because it's not even, but like I guess now it would be.
That was a weird conversation to have recently when someone mentioned like old Kanye like being like old school like hip hop music and stuff like that. I was like, wow, really? This is what we're considering? Like,
like we grew up with this. What do you mean? Yeah. But yeah, no, he was more of that kind of world. Like, I just like my brothers were much older than me, so like I was still like basically should have probably been in a car seat, but my brother had a car and like would be driving me around places, and I'm just like I'd be asking him to play Hard Knock Life again, and like it's funny, but and this is something that I've been dancing around Kim too. Again, this is not my first albums that I bought, but I had to be no older than 5 years old when I heard Wait and Bleed by Slipknot for the first time in my life. Again, my brother, my brother Freddie, the metalhead. He was certified 90s angsty. I just remember it probably pissed my mom off so much that he was listening to that song. But I was just like, this is one of the prettiest. I don't know how to describe it. Just Wait and Bleed is just like, it's a comfort song to me, and it has no business being a comfort song to me because it's not comforting. It's like, it's literally talking about the demons that are like living within you. But I was just like, oh no, inside my shell, I wait and bleed. And I had no idea what that meant. I had no idea what Corey was trying to tell me as a kid, but I was like, the fucking riffs, everything. Like I would unironically see Slipknot to this day just to hear and like Wait and Bleed live.
Yeah.
But cool. I guess I should talk about my two albums though. I don't know.
Drop.
Yeah. So the first two albums that I got with my own money, you know, without my parents saying, "Hey, you can't get this," was Simple Plan, Still Not Getting Any, and Evanescence, Fallen. Aww. And I and both somehow I don't know, I don't remember how or why I had the behind the scenes for both of, like, you know, like Simple Plan I think had like a 2-disc situation where, or you could put the CD in your DVD thing and it would reveal like the behind the scenes of the guys on tour. And I fell in love with Pierre, because who didn't fall in love with Pierre? And same thing with Evanescence. I would watch their behind the scenes, and I just wanted to be part of their world so badly. I will say, like, into my adulthood, I still unironically listen to Fallen, like, at least once every now and then. I can't say it's every year. I think I just remembered my love for Evanescence again, like, quite recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could probably, if someone held a gun to my head, sing every single word to that album, like, and without, like, everything, like how it, like, you know, I thought that was, I think Amy Lee has one of the most underrated voices in rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we remember her for Bring Me to Life, but we need to remember her for like a shit ton more. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. And then Simple Plan, again, this is not to knock, you know, I didn't follow through with Simple Plan's career. Like, I feel like I bought at least 2 or 3 Evanescence albums, and, like, you know, I'd still be like, yeah, no, I'm listening to it. Simple Plan was a different part of my life, but if it wasn't for Welcome to My Life, I would not be who I am today. I was just like, yeah, welcome to my life.
Like, do you ever feel like breaking down? Do you ever feel out of place?
Like I felt that.
Yeah. And then, like, oh god, Untitled, the Simple Plan's Still Not Getting Any album.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I at that point I knew no one who drank. I didn't know. I was like how could this happen? Oh my god.
I made my mistakes, got nowhere to run. The night goes.
Living in the music video, like pretending you're there. Yeah, I had a friend who was like a big Simple Plan fan. I think she still is. I haven't talked to her in a while, but yeah, she was really all about that.
I bought tickets to a Simple Plan show, but I didn't realize it was not, like, I was stupid. I was like, I had just moved back to New York, and I bought tickets to a Simple Plan show that was on Long Island, not realizing it was impossible for me to get there.
Oh, great.
I mean, like, I probably could have, but I was just like, yo, this is like, it's not like a Brooklyn trip. It's not
right.
It's not a Queens trip. It's like you're going to Long Island. You got to take the LIRR.
Yeah, that's a trip.
Too much for Simple Plan. I mean, I love the boys, but I can't wait to see them in an easily accessible venue.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, and like okay, so I said my first two, but then the last album that probably changed my life for the better is Meteora by Linkin Park, which like. I think Hybrid Theory is my favorite Linkin Park album, but again, it is what it is. I bought that album. You know, like first off, like we could just talk about how good Linkin Park's music is throughout. Like, I know I, along with other fans, felt some sort of like, I don't want to say betrayal because we were wrong. We were just wrong. Linkin Park changed their sound, but the music was still good. Like, as someone who was like, I regret being as fucking, purist as I don't even know purist is the word I want to use, but I was like just hard on the band for a while, like especially when I was like in college and like just entering my adulthood. I was just like, oh, it's not like old Linkin Park, like that kind of. And I kind of hate people like that now. Like, and I get it. Like, sometimes it really sucks when your favorite band no longer sounds like they started out.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that with like Fall Out Boy a lot, where it's just like, I wish they could just go back to their old sound, but they're allowed to grow. This is about Linkin Park. I could have a whole episode.
Right, I feel like we definitely are gonna have to talk about Linkin Park, just because I feel like a lot of people resonate with the
I feel
band.
like Linkin Park even had an influence of what I ended up doing in my life and as my career, which again, I feel like everyone who's listening at this point knows who we are, but I'm an animator and designer called a motion designer in the biz, but a lot of people don't know what that entails, and I don't even know what that entails. But I remember seeing the Breaking the Habit music video, and I was just like, I want to get in on that, like, and it was one of those things where like I didn't know until I was actually in Dutchess that I can make that into like, a career path. I think one of my teachers were like, oh, you should look into making like music videos and stuff. I was just like, what? Huh?
I could do that?
Yeah. And unfortunately, I still have not made a music video. I've assisted in music, but I've not actually made a music video because there's no real money in that world, which is sad, but whatever. It's kind of artists helping artists, which is something dope. But I do remember just like, seeing any of the Linkin Park music videos, they always felt so grand. They always felt so, like, I don't know. There was an art to Linkin Park that I feel like no one else was really tapping into as well as they were.
Mm-hmm.
I could make an argument like, yeah, there was like certainly, I feel like Korn was very much like on that realm of like, oh, this feels grand, especially with like Freak on the Leash.
Yeah, they're definitely like, I definitely want to chat about them at some point, but that was definitely like a big stepping stone for me too into like the music I like. But I still bop to them.
I never got too into Korn, but I like it's actually like on my list of I'm doing 100 albums this year. Like I'm listening to 100 albums and like recording it on Twitter.
Korn.
Yeah.
Everything Korn.
So, everything Korn. 100 corns.
Yes.
No.
All the
corns. All the corns. All the cobs. I'm sorry, that was a bad joke. So yeah, no, I have I can't give you the album name off the top of my head because I'm blipping out over here, but I have a Korn album on there, so I'm excited to finally dive deeper into their discography. Because I know like the basics. I know like Twisted Transistor and obviously Freak on the Leash and all that. It was just the basics. So, but I remember being in my brother's room and watching Freak on a Leash and just again like seeing the cartoon world break into the real world and following that bullet. I was just like, yo, like this is some sick visuals. And again, I didn't understand then that, because I was a kid. I wasn't thinking like, oh, this is what I want to do as a living to pay bills and my
and rent.
And, like what? But I think it sparked an artistic thing in me where I was just like, okay, like, I want to make art that, help, like, can sway people's moods. I don't know how to put that any other way.
No,
I think all
I'm
I think
with
all
you.
art, yeah. I think all artists and even like, people who went to fucking art school, how about it? We all try to like insert some kind of, ourselves into our work, even if we know I make content for brands, my voice does not matter, but when I do my own personal work, it's cool when I can actually express myself in some kind of way. So, hopefully one day I'll have that gig that allows me to do that, or, help tell a story in a way that I can do that with, like, actual expressions and stuff like that. But yeah, those bands definitely helped me. Again, talking about Linkin Park, just like the layers there were for Linkin Park, between the writing and fucking the mixes and then the remixes and then, like, yeah, like when Jay-Z and Linkin Park meshed up, it's
That
like,
was
wait, what?
iconic.
That felt huge. That felt so huge. And it's funny because he's probably listening to this podcast and you know him. My friend Bobby had originally invited me to see Linkin Park when we were kids, and we ended up seeing them later on in life. But this is not that story. This story is where, for whatever reason, I could no longer go to the show with Bob's, and I was distraught over it. But I was like, whatever. I'll see him later, and da 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 da. And I thankfully did, because I don't know if you ever got to see Linkin Park live,
No, I
Kim.
have not.
I mean,
I'm like really bummed about it, but I never got the chance.
it breaks my heart knowing that, like, I don't want to get sad on the first podcast because we'll have a whole episode for Linkin Park and what it meant to us, but like Chester was just such a fucking force to be reckoned with, and I'm so happy I saw that live.
I bet, yeah.
But yeah, this is a story about how I didn't go see Linkin Park with Bobby, and Jay-Z was the surprise guest, and they did.
No way.
And I'm just like, I will forever be mad that I was not in attendance for that. they were playing in New York, and yeah, Jay is a New York boy. I guess he was in town. So
yeah. Oh, that's so amazing. I wish.
Be jealous of Bob's.
Yeah, right.
I guess that kind of all looped into our last bullet point of who helped us get into music.
Exactly.
Because I guess this would be the part where I say my dad, it was the reason why I am the way I am. He is, he's always, I grew up listening to, the classics, like the Stones. My dad's a huge Stones fan. The Beatles, Bob Marley, which is kind of surprising because I do remember Bob Marley was such a bigger part of my childhood, but like as an adult, I probably owe it to myself to like listen to the discography of Bob Marley again.
Right.
But yeah, my dad's also like very much into alternative music. He's like, he was big on Weezer. He loves Green Day. I am a woman of color, so it's music that feels like it isn't or was not meant for me to be like accessible to me, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, and again, it helped that my brother was so into metal, and it helps that my dad is so into rock and roll, and it even helps that like it's just like I had so many. Maybe you could speak more
like
to this too, because you had
right.
I had so many influences that I just kind of took a little piece of everything, and ultimately I think it all kind of like pop punk was where I was supposed to be. Yeah, you know what I mean, like so that's kind of it. Like it was just because of who my family is, and growing up upstate, like in Kim will have a different experience with that because he is actually a city kid. But yeah, it was just like, okay, you're in this world of living in cul-de-sacs and getting driven everywhere and blah blah blah, and wishing you can break out of a small town.
Right. Like I feel like that music was definitely like, I was just like talking about this before too, like the whole like even like the emo genre as well, but like all that, even like the pop punk, like a lot of it started in like suburban neighborhoods, so that was just like This is
we all felt trapped. We're trapped as
yeah,
fuck.
exactly. Like I could,
Yeah. Yeah, that's been, so like I can remember again, like I guess this was like the last band that really influenced. I won't say the last band, but it was. I remember, and I hate this song now, but don't come at me because I still love
no
this band.
worries.
All the small things. You remember when that shit was
Oh
like
yeah,
big,
that
growing?
was a bop.
And it was a bop. I can't stand it now because
Yeah, I
any
can't
like
listen to it now, but
because any movie that involves small critters or creatures will use all the small things, and I see Alvin and the Chipmunks in my head. I see
oh
like I'm just like,
no.
yeah, it's the movies have ruined that song for me. But I also do remember in 5th grade when, and again, it's like kind of amazing that this song is this old, but it doesn't feel this old either. I Miss You came out,
Oh, good song.
and I was just like, yeah, it just took me places. And then lastly, I'm sorry, I keep like hijacking, and I do want to hear everything you have to say about your I remember in 6th grade, I was kind of the new kid again because I had moved in 5th grade, but then 6th grade is middle school year, so it's kind of like the merging of schools, and like I didn't make a lot of friends my 5th grade year, and my best friend had moved away, and blah blah blah. I had made friends with this girl named Amy, who was very much into Green Day and Newfound Glory. Holy shit! I almost didn't tell this story. And yeah, me and her, oh my God, I'm almost sad that we didn't stay friends throughout like, middle school and high school because she had such a good taste in like, music. Again, I feel like I knew who Newfound Glory was due to my brother, and he was a metal guy, but he was also a skater. So all the little like the Tony Hawk soundtracks and stuff like that, like they all kind of bled in somehow. But I didn't know who, like songs by Newfound Glory. I could say like, oh, I recognize this, but I didn't know. But yeah, we ended up playing. Oh my God, it was a song off of Catalyst. But yeah, no, my friend Amy was the reason why I got into that realm of like pop punk.
Oh, that's really sweet though.
Yeah.
Especially being the new kid. I know I've been there, so
No, I'm Known for Something is the song that I played at a talent show. Yeah, and it was bad. It was bad. It was really bad.
I've never done a talent show before.
Oh, it was a hoot. We were up against kids that were singing Seasons of Love.
Oh, cute.
It was yeah, they rocked it. Yeah, Kim, tell me. I hijacked the podcast for a second.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm just trying to think of a good transition. Sorry, I'm just like not best at transitions.
No, transitions are hard. I said that during a trip once.
Oh,
and I thought it was so deep.
Def a blooper.
Totally.
Oh man. I guess for me, like, I guess for people who helped us get into music, well, I grew up in the South Bronx, so not a lot of access to, I guess, music that I found myself really falling in love with. Not that I'm, I don't know. I'm a big fan of all kinds of music. I don't really stick to one genre, but I guess, the emo genre, and especially like, rock, hardcore music, like all of that's really like stuck with me. But I had I guess this family friend of mine that I just thought was like really cool. Also, like the way she like dressed, like she like nothing crazy, but like she had a black band t-shirts and like Converse, like a bag with like a bunch of System of a Down pins. So her name was Jessica. Yeah, shout out to Jessica if you're listening. But I thought she was like super cool, and like she was also into like some other stuff that like I really am into, like Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy, but we'll get into that another time. But yeah, like just between her burning me CDs when I wanted any, and then one of my aunts burning me CDs like with just like getting like full like Green Day albums, like listening to I got like mix of everything that I cool like CDs, burned CDs, because that's how we shared music with each other at that time, with like a bunch all the songs like written out in Sharpie in the front of the CD. Like,
Don't
you
you
know,
miss it? I miss it
yeah,
so much.
like why can't we can still do that. I'm gonna
we
do
can't.
it. I'm gonna do it.
I don't have a CD drive anymore, man.
Oh yeah. Me neither. Oops.
Yeah. Like what would I play that on?
Yeah, right. Like, where am I putting that? I don't think I have one. My PlayStation has a disc drive, but that's
I
about it.
legitimately bought a CD like last year, and then was like, "Why would you do this?" Oh God!
Oh, my car has a CD drive, so there's that.
This is true. Okay, so
Oh,
like,
thank
yeah, I think
goodness.
I think if you still have a CD drive in your car, like, yeah,
Yeah,
maybe,
it's
because
safe.
sometimes your phone does not connect, and you just really need to listen to something.
Word. That's happened to me a couple times.
No, but I definitely miss burned CDs. I think I had a weird pride with making burned CDs too. Like,
Mhm.
I always felt like I had like the best shit.
Yeah, and
And
like
I
I
probably
got you.
didn't-
Like, I'll hook you up. Like, this is the good shit. Like,
And like looking back, I'm just like, no, it wasn't good shit. But
at the time,
no. At the time, yeah. I make playlists for friends now. It doesn't hit the same because it just
it's
feels
still
like,
sweet
oh,
though. I enjoy getting a playlist from you. I think you're the only one who's made me a playlist.
yeah, no, I really do. When I do make playlists for friends, I try to give it a limit, because like obviously the difference between making a mixed CD and making a playlist is that a playlist can last forever, and I'm like, that's cheating. So I try to give, like, I do my best to keep all of the playlists I make for my friends like 15 songs.
No, that's fair.
Yeah. And I guess this is a good way to segue. We probably won't do it for this first episode, but for the next episode, me and Kim want to start creating playlists of either bands we want you to check out, music that relates to the episode that is out now, or the latest episode. We will supply you with that information when we do, but I'm looking forward to making those. I actually already started collecting the songs I want to add to our first one. But
yeah, definitely looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be real fun. Kim, it was awesome though to hear what got you into the scene though, because I had no idea. I had no idea of your roots.
Yeah, it's just like crazy, like growing up in the the hood, quote unquote, and there's not really a lot of kids aren't listening to that kind of stuff. And when I found it, I just like felt like different, and I knew there was like something different, and I don't know, just really really sat like
it connects.
Yeah.
And like I think music, it feels kind of stupid to say because we all know, but like, yeah, music connects us in a weird way. And back when, it's funny because now we're all very much connected, but it was so expansive when we could start following our bands on MySpace and stuff like that. Or I learned a majority of the music that I listened to by just going on different people's like profile pages. At one point.
MySpace and LimeWire was like where I found like all my music, really.
But wait, I have a question. Did you watch AMVs growing up?
Oh, did I?
What was your favorite? Give me your genre of AMV. Like, what was the anime? And then give me one of your favorite songs to look up to.
Like, I guess, I liked the, emo songs, I guess, quote unquote, with the AMVs. Like, I just thought, like, I don't know, for some reason, Skillet and like Nightcore stick out in my head right now, for AMVs. I hate it so much. Oh, I definitely want to like chat about
Kim,
the AMV culture.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll out myself right now. Kim, did you know I made AMVs?
Oh,
and
I wish I freaking made one. I wanted to make one so bad, but I didn't have like the access to like do those things. But my old roommate, made an AMV and shared it with me, I was like, I feel so close to you now.
You're just like, we are one and the same. No, I would make AM of again, Linkin Park rears its fucking ugly head again. It's not ugly, it's so beautiful. No, I would make Kingdom Hearts and
Kingdom Hearts, yeah.
Naruto, fucking AMVs using Linkin Park, using Breaking Benjamin, Sick Puppies. I don't know if anyone
remember
remembers
oh my gosh, they had a lot of sad songs.
They were great. Oh god, there was one more band that I was like, wait, I have to mention them right now.
Let me think. What's like
fucking Fort Minor. But
yes.
Again, that's an offshoot of Linkin Park, so Mike Shinoda's little side project.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god. It'll hit me. We'll have an AMV episode, and I'll be like, it's it.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely chat about that at some point. I'm sure it will come up.
But AMVs were definitely a segue into I think that's how I didn't discover. You mentioned System of a Down being like, a reason why you got into, or having someone introduce you that way.
Right.
I don't want to say System of a Down was introduced to me through AMVs, but there is a high likelihood that it could have been.
I believe it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, it also connects to just finding music and stuff like that, even through anime and Digimon movies and all that.
Most def. Yeah, again, it was a weird bubble, and this is why we wanted to make this podcast, is because again, I know there has to be other people that just I don't want to say I'm fine now. No. We grew up okay. We're fine, but growing up, I spent the majority of my weekends on my computer inside, and I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
But also it was again, it formed who I am today, which I think I'm pretty dope as a person today. In my best of moments.
Exactly.
So, again, it's just going on finding music through these little niche communities that I don't want to say no one else went through, because I realized more, people like the same music as me, they just weren't being outwardly emo.
That's all. Yeah.
I don't know how to again, these are the guys and gals that might come for us for saying, this band is emo, but it's actually they were just we weren't the button-up emos. We were just fucking the vampire freak emos for a bit. So, and again, name drop right there. Going on Vampire Freaks or going on Gaia Online. It all influenced who I became as a person. I would, comics, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. All the nerdy shit too. Definitely all goes together with I feel like a lot of the emo culture and our emo culture, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I spent a lot of time at home because my parents were pretty strict, especially with the area I lived in and everything. So I didn't really go out much. And yeah, spent a lot of time inside with animated TV shows and video games and just my thoughts, music, art, all that, So
just my thoughts.
Yeah.
That killed me.
All of that.
Yeah, I again, that's why we're kind of here, because I want to talk about the things that make me happy, or made me happy, or also the things that don't. I guess I don't know.
We're talking about all of it.
We're talking emo things.
Yeah,
we're talking about complex. We're talking complex emotions.
There you go.
But yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else to add on episode 1, Kim?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything we wanted to cover for the most part. I mean, there are definitely topics we discussed I definitely want to return to later on in the podcast, because I feel like we have a lot of ideas come up, and we're gonna have just a lot of content to provide, which would be really nice.
Yeah, as I said, tune in next week. whenever the next one goes live. But I hope you guys tune in for that, because that's actually going to be that's a little bit structured than the first episode, which again, we gave you a little bit of background of who we are, which felt good because we're gonna hit the ground running now with everything else.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, Kim, any bands you want to shout out this week? Did you have time to think of one?
Yeah, so I think, actually, January 29th, since we're in quarantine and a lot of bands are doing virtual concerts and, like live events that you have to pay for to get into. So I tuned into Every Time I Die and this new band that I found from this called Cave In. And so far, my favorite Cave In song is Anchor at the moment.
Makes you tired, the resting always fails. 'Cause anywhere you lay yourself.
I'm still diving into them, but during the event, they basically covered a song from each of them. Like, they both covered one of each other's songs, is what I meant to say. And let's see. So Cave In covered More from Every Time I Die. And that's from their album From Parts Unknown. And then Every Time I Die covered Youth Overrided by Cave In. And that's on their album Antenna. So yeah, I think the event was like $5, and it was just really cool because I'm like, we're not going to concerts anyways. Like, I can pay $5 for a live event of like one of my favorite bands covering another song. And to be honest, like, kind of off topic, but whatever. But like, Every Time I Die, I did that song and it was all clean vocals, and I would definitely listen to a clean album from Every Time I Die. But yeah, it was a really good time. I really, I'm glad I found this band because it's been hard for me to like find new bands recently. So yeah, that was like a new band I found that I'm really like happy I found. So try to keep on that. I don't know if you've found any new music you want to share with our listeners, but
Oh yeah. I don't know if they can be considered new anymore, and I'm so happy to say that. But
new to us.
I
Yeah,
know
Cave In
that-
is definitely not new. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no. I just want to make it clear, these aren't necessarily new bands, new to the scene or anything. These are just bands we legitimately want to shout out that maybe either are on the up and up or aren't getting the dues that they either deserve or should get, blah blah blah. But yeah, no, Meet Me at the Altar is a band that I'm just so, can I say proud? I'm just so happy they're like getting the exposure they're getting now. I would recommend you listen to their song May the Odds Be in Your Favor. That's my favorite song by them. I listen to that song anytime I'm having a really rough day, but I know I need to like fucking snap out of it. When concerts are a thing and I can see them out on tour, you bet your ass my 27-8, oh god, I really hope it's not 8, but 27 year old self will be asking the tallest, strongest guy in the crowd to fling my body to crowd surf so I could just be like, I'm doing my fucking best. That's not the lyric, but yeah, listen to the song. May the odds ever be in your favor. Garden is also a great new track. I think they're in the process of making a new album and just making new songs. They're on Spotify.
Yeah, and I think they were the first all Latinx band that Fueled by Ramen signed, which is really awesome and like about time, by the way.
Yeah, again, this could be a whole episode in itself, but it's just like I wish I had this band growing up.
Right.
I stay saying that because younger me needed to see myself, I think, and I think again, this is a deeper like conversation that we'll probably touch much later, but it's just like I feel like if I had the I don't know how everyone identifies,
representation,
but representation, if I had this if I had that kind of representation growing up, I don't think I would have so many of the image issues I have today. that I'm still struggling with. But it is so fucking awesome to see these guys. I've had minor interactions with these guys on Twitter, and every time it's just like I just have a good feeling that they are genuine and they are probably the nicest of people, and I just can't wait to see where their career takes them next. Again, if you need your pop punk fix, look no further.
Yeah, that's
they
definitely
got
where
you.
it's at.
They got you. It's fun. It's upbeat. I can't wait to see how their music evolves. It would be interesting to hear like a slow down track by them. I don't think they really have one. But yeah, give them a listen, and tell them Estrogen sent you. Oh shit! Should we have like names like that? I don't know. That's a conversation.
Oh, yeah, we'll chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
That's it, guys.
Yeah.
That's episode 1. I hope
Yeah.
you stick around for the rest of them, or how far we go with these. But I had fun. Kim, did you have fun?
Yeah, no, I had a blast, and it's really always a fun time chatting with you. But great to finally record our conversations about everything.
This has been in the works for like months now.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for Kim this week, it probably would have been another few months, because my ass always has the big ideas, can almost never execute them on time.
No, we got this.
Yeah. So I hope you guys had fun, and with everything going on in the world, I hope that this might have brought a smile to your face, and as always, we'll carry on.
Yep.
So yeah, goodbye everybody.
All right, bye. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Oh, stop. Say poggers.
Oh,
Can't say poggers.
Poggers.